Right then, pull up a chair, grab a pint, or a cup of tea if you're feeling proper. This time we're riding shotgun with the legendary Belle Starr, the pistol-packing, law-breaking, corset-wearing Bandit Queen of the Wild West. Now imagine this. It's the 1800s. You're wearing more dust than clothes. And everyone's either got a six-shooter on their hip or a Bible in their hand. Sometimes both. Into this spaghetti western fever dream struts Belle Starr, looking like Scarlett O'Hara if she'd traded mint juleps for moonshine and saddled up with Jesse James. She didn't play by the rules because, quite frankly, the rules weren't made for women like her. Belle Starr didn't just break the mould. She shot it in the face and rode off whistling. Belle Starr was born Myra Maybelle Shirley in 1848. Yeah, that's right. Before the Civil War even kicked off. Her daddy was a prosperous innkeeper and slaveholder in Missouri, so she didn't grow up poor. But let's be honest, the frontier didn't care about your pedigree. It cared about whether you could ride a horse without falling off and shoot a gun without blinking. Her family eventually moved to Texas. And if you know anything about Texas in the 1850s, it was basically a sandbox for bandits, renegades, and Confederate sympathizers. So while little girls elsewhere were playing house, Maybelle was getting real comfy with outlaws. Especially fellas like Jesse James, who popped round like he was borrowing sugar, except he was more into robbing trains. Belle had a thing for bad boys, not the type who write poetry about the moon. Her first marriage, Jim Reed, an outlaw with the James Younger gang. Classy guy, real into bank robbery and poor decision-making. But when Jim kicked the bucket in a robbery gone sideways, Belle didn't cry into her petticoat. Nope. She married Sam Starr, a Cherokee outlaw, and together they became the Bonnie and Clyde of Oklahoma Indian Territory, except with more horses and less jazz. Horse theft, bootlegging, bribery, you name it, they did it. Belle even dressed the part. Velvet gowns, feathered hats, dual pistols strapped to her waist. She looked like a Southern belle who just robbed a Wells Fargo stagecoach. And wouldn't you know it, the law wasn't a big fan of Belle's lifestyle. She got arrested more times than a drunkard in a temperance town. But here's the kicker. She kept slipping out of jail like she had a punch card with the US Marshals. She even served time in Detroit and Arkansas, where she charmed the courtroom, strutting in like she was at a cotillion. By the way, get this, the National Archives has legit court records of her trials, showing she talked her way out of more sentences than a crooked preacher at confession. Belle's story wasn't just lived, it was published. Newspapers and dime novels loved her. They painted her as the femme fatale of the prairie, robbing from the rich, flirting with danger, and probably shooting bandits while sipping tea. Spoiler, that wasn't exactly true. But hey, who needs truth when you've got a headline like Bandit Queen robs stagecoach in velvet gown? She became America's favourite contradiction. A woman in crinolines who pistol whip a deputy. The myth of Belle Starr grew faster than a saloon tab on payday. Now, let's get serious for a moment. Belle wasn't just an outlaw. She was a walking middle finger to 19th century gender roles. At a time when women were supposed to be seen and not heard, she was heard loud and clear, usually over the sound of gunfire. Was she criminal? Hell yes. But in a world that left women to be school marms or saloon girls, Belle built a third option, outlaw queen. She rode, she ruled, and she didn't give two bullets about what society expected. Some historians reckon her crime spree was part survival, part rebellion. No one was handing Belle Starr a pension and a nice patch of land. She took what she wanted, and sometimes that meant taking someone else's horse. In 1889, Belle Starr was shot in the back near her home. No one knows for sure who did it. Was it a former lover? A rival outlaw? Her own son? The Wild West was basically an open mic night for murder, so take your pick. She died like she lived, surrounded by mystery, scandal, and the scent of gunpowder. And just like that, the Bandit Queen was gone. But her legend, that rode on. What if Belle had gone straight? She'd probably have become a political boss or run her own criminal empire with better branding. Maybe opened a saloon/legal aid office for lady outlaws, Wild West open. But she didn't. And maybe that's why we remember her. Moral clarity, blurry as a saloon mirror after last call. She wasn't out here for justice. She was out here for survival. Purpose, to live free with or without a man, and with or without the law. Belief into action. Yep. Belle didn't sit on her haunches and wish. She acted. Right or wrong, she did things on her own terms. She wasn't a hero. She wasn't a villain. She was the system's middle finger, wearing lace. So here we are, staring down the dusty trail of Belle Starr's legacy. Was she a criminal? Yeah. But she was also a walking challenge to the idea that women should sit quietly on the sidelines. She kicked down the saloon doors of history, guns drawn, and made damn sure we'd still be talking about her a century later. Stay curious, stay sharp, and stay just sober enough to remember it all. This was just a swig of history, and if it wasn't in your textbook, it bloody well should have been. And before you go, do a brother fav, and like, share and subscribe. Cheers.